optimistic bitch from January who was like, I'm gonna be nicer to myself with my TBRs this year. I'm just gonna do my own readathons and I'm not gonna do any other project. I'm gonna make everything so chill and lovely. Yeah, where is she? Because I don't see her in this video. Hi guys, it's Leanne and welcome to my March TBR. March is great for many reasons, but not apparently for the lighting, because nobody has yet told Scotland that it's March, and so I have rainy, dreich and overcast, and look, we're just working with it, okay? We're going with the flow, because March is also my birthday month. That's right, like all of the best people in the world, I am a little fishy and I was born in March. So I decided to start the month with stress. Anything that could have gone wrong over the past couple of days has gone wrong. I'm quite surprised that I have so much hair left. But never mind, we persevere because March also means that it is month 3 of my Year of Readathons. If you're new here, Year of Readathons is a little TBR project that I have set up for myself for the entire year. I was getting very stressed trying to join in with all of the challenges, and so I decided I shall make my own tiny readathons and compete only with myself. Every month I pick a set of 5 prompts all based around a theme, and then I find books off of my physical TBR to go with them. And I also play my little TBR game Stack It. Whatever order the books come off of the shelves, that is the order that I have to read them in, top to bottom, and if I want to skip one of those books, chances are I'm never going to want to read it, so I will have to unhaul it. And you'll see how much it works in my wrap-up, because I'm going to have to unhaul one. That's the principle of the challenge, right? The whole idea is I do my own little readathons and I don't get involved with anything else this year so that I keep it nice and calm. Except somehow I'm doing 2 other readathons this month. So we're going to do them first. First up, I am taking part in the next round of Bookopoly-a-thon created by the amazing Becky. This is a mini round and it's really special because every single hour of the readathon is going to be live. Becky has got a bunch of hosts and some poor people are going to have to be on the graveyard shift. But wherever you are in the world, you're going to be able to read live with other people who are taking part in Bookopoly-a-thon. The thing is, I do not yet know what I'm going to be reading for it because I am taking part in the live show which will be hosted on Ashley's channel, and we have got a roll drop in our live show, which is super exciting but also much stress. I have no idea. I want to pick a book specifically for the roll drop that's in our live show, so I won't know until we're actually live what that is. If you're interested in joining in Bookopoly-a-thon, I will put all of the relevant links down below. It's gonna be hella fun. And next up, I am taking part in the Tis the Jam Readathon, which is hosted by a bunch of amazing booktubers and bookstagrammers. Again, all of the links will be down below. And for that readathon, I'm going to be doing 4 separate prompts, so that's 4 extra books. So we're now at 10 books. We're at 10 books for my TBR, my 5 prompt Bookopoly-a-thon, and then 4 prompts for Tis the Jam Readathon. It's gonna be chill, right? It's gonna be chill. This year's gonna be very calm. Don't believe a word I ever say, unless it's that you should read my favourite books, in which case absolutely do that. Let's look first at the albums that I want to collect for our Swiftie Readathon, because I feel like if I have those prompts in mind, when we generate my prompts, just you wait, when we generate my prompts, I can have those in mind and maybe pick books which cross over the 2. Okay, so the whole point of Tis the Jam Readathon is that you can collect your favourite albums. There are 3 prompts for each album, but you only have to do 1 in order to collect it, which tell me what books I have to read. So my 4 favourite Taylor Swift albums are 1989, Red, Folklore and Evermore, because I'm a basic bitch. So the prompts for Red are read a book with a red cover or pick up a book which you have previously DNF'd. If anybody has seen my challenge with Emma last month, which I'll link you to up here, no, I will not be picking up anything that I have DNF'd because apparently that just puts me into a massive book slump for the rest of the month. Just gonna have to assume that I know my taste enough that if I have DNF'd it, it is because it is trash. Next up for 1989, the 2 prompts are read a book with a number in the title or read a book with a morally grey character. So that's half of my bookcase. We should be fine. For Evermore, there are 2 prompts. The first one is to surprise yourself with a pick from your TBR, like go in blindfolded. I did that in January, so I don't think I'm going to do that one again. Or read a mystery or thriller, and realistically, I don't think that's going to be difficult. And then for Folklore, the 2 prompts are to either choose a book which has mythology or a retelling or a folktale in it somewhere, or read a book written by 2 authors. For my TBR for this month, I have become particularly obsessed with the game Codenames. You guys may or may not have discovered it during lockdown like I did, but it is a game wherein you get a grid that looks like this. There are 2 teams or 2 players in the version that I play online, and you have to try and get the other team to guess a word or a series of words that are on this grid. So this month what I'm going to do is I'm going to generate myself a new Codenames game, and from the words that I am given to try and get the other team to guess, I'm going to pick 5 of those, the top 5 on the list, and I'm going to try and find corresponding books on my shelves. But there are 3 words which are bomb words, which if you pick them just end the game, you have lost, and I'm going to try and make sure that those 3 words are not featured anywhere in my TBR. I don't really know why I do this to myself, but here we go. I'm going to pick Team A. And, oh, okay, that's not a bad grid. So we've got the words capital, Moscow, pitch, tiger and fire. And the words that it must not have are tick, book and Halloween. I really like this one. We could have ended up with some really odd ones. We played a game last week that had the word maracas in it, and I was like, I do not know what I'm going to do if I get maracas. For our first prompt, capital, I think I'm going to go with a book that has only capital letters on the spine, a book where the title is completely in capital letters. And I'm going to try and find one that also covers one of the other prompts we have for the Tis the Jam readathon. Wish me luck. The Apartment by S.L. Gray, which has only capital letters on the spine, so it works for this one. But it also has red on the cover. It is a thriller, and it's actually written by 2 authors, which I did not know when I picked it up. So in The Apartment, Mark and Steph are a couple, and they are left reeling after a really brutal attack. One night, armed robbers broke into their home, they stole a lot of their valuables, and they left them not only very traumatized but very injured. And they now don't know how to go back to their normal lives. They don't feel comfortable in their home anymore, and in general they just wish that they were anywhere else. And so when Mark spots an advert for a house swap to Paris, he thinks that this is a no-brainer. The apartment that they end up in is described as festering and run down, and a series of very odd things happen. Oh, and they're completely unable to contact the people that they have swapped their house with. I've had this one on my shelf for a while, and I've heard a lot of really mixed things about it, but I remain completely optimistic because this weird house swap trope that has popped up quite a lot in thrillers over the last couple of years is something that makes my heart quite happy. You know that I love Place's character, and you know that I love creepy houses, so when you add the 2 together with like a thriller, I'm like... So I think I'm going to have this one also count for folklore, because the chances of me picking up another book at random that is actually written by 2 authors is pretty slim, I think. The next one, however, is Moscow, and initially I thought this one's going to be super difficult. I do not think that I'm going to be able to find anything at all which jives with this prompt. And then I remembered that I have Shadow and Bone. I tried to read Shadow and Bone a couple of years ago, and it had this cover on it. And at the time I really wasn't in the mood for YA fantasy, it just wasn't doing it for me. But then for an early birthday present, one of my lovely friends bought for me the Shadow and Bone box set. I have definitely been getting much more into YA fantasy recently, and of course with the Netflix adaptation of Shadow and Bone coming out, this seems like a fairly good time to be picking up this book. In fact, I am absolutely sure that you guys are probably sick of seeing TBRs with this book on it right now. You guys know that I'm not usually somebody who jumps on the hype train. Usually it makes me run in the other direction. But there's something about a fantasy series being adapted that just makes me want to dive back in. So I'm going to pick this one up, and I'm also going to count it for the prompt for 1989, which is to read a book with a morally grey character, because if there's one thing I know about this series, it's that it has several morally grey characters. The next prompt that we've got is pitch. Now, I don't think I've got anything with the word pitch in it. However, when I think of pitch, I think of the pitch of your voice, and so for some reason, when I saw this, I immediately thought scream. So I'm thinking maybe a horror book for pitch in which maybe somebody screams. But I have to stay away from anything which also says book or Halloween, which I know quite a few of my horror books actually do. I've managed somehow to avoid book, tick and Halloween on all of these covers. There's not even a single blurb on them that mentions any of those words. Will I be as lucky if I go to my horror shelves? Let's find out. They're all the way down here now. Really difficult to find one that didn't have the word book on it. Not finding the word Halloween was fine. I saw a couple that said ticks all the boxes, because I guess it's going to tick all the boxes of a typical horror read. I don't know. I just thought that was very rude. I didn't think that was going to be so difficult, but I think I've done a thorough inspection of this one and I can't see any of the forbidden words on it. This is Horrorstör by Grady Hendrix, and I am so excited for it. I was sent this by the lovely Rosie from Sparkles Books. I will link her down below so you can check her out. She sent me this as a gift and I have wanted it for the longest time. The weird thing is I actually had this on my Kindle, but I didn't realise when I purchased it that so much of this book is actually the layout of it. And so when I went to read it on my Kindle, I realised that the experience was just not the same thing, and I've wanted it ever since. So I was really pleased when Rosie sent it. So essentially, this entire book is set out like a furniture store catalogue. Sounds very weird when you explain it like that, but this is essentially set in IKEA without, you know, it being IKEA. So when you open it up, even the French flap here gives you details of it like it's an item that you're going to buy. Then in here there's a map of the store, and then it starts out with a welcome page. So the whole principle of this one is that there are a bunch of employees left behind when the store closes and they get locked in. There have been weird things happening in their store for a little while. Some of the displays have been moved around, some things have been vandalised but in very odd ways. And then this particular night, when they are all locked in, things start to move when they can see them, and they realise it might be a race against time to not only get out of the store but to save the store. I'm also tickled by the fact that the back flap has Grady Hendrix as an employee, and I just Unfortunately, however, this is neither a mystery nor a thriller, and it has like no red on the, I mean it's got a tiny bit of red on a spine, but not really. So this one is counting for this prompt, but not for any of these prompts. Typical. It's difficult, yeah. Alright, so the next prompt that I've got is tiger. This one is a little bit random. I don't think I have any books with tigers on them. I guess I might have a couple of books where somebody might turn into a were-tiger. Let's go and have a look. Okay, that was a bit of a tricky one. I looked at fantasy books to see if I had tigers. I looked at urban fantasy books to see if I had were-tigers. I looked at books that were set in countries that tigers lived in, and I came up with nothing, diddly squat. So what I ended up doing was finding a book that had the colours of a tiger on it. This is How We Fight for Our Lives by Saeed Jones. This is Saeed Jones's memoir of coming out as a queer black man living in the South. I have a few friends who have read this memoir and have said that it is absolutely harrowing. So despite the fact that it is this many pages and tiny, I don't actually anticipate flying through this as quickly as we might think. So I'm going to try and double up for one of the other prompts too. As well as having the yellows, oranges and blacks that you would find on a tiger, this one also has a lot of red on the cover, like a lot of red on it. So I'm going to also count it for this prompt. And thankfully it does not say book or tick anywhere on the cover. Okay, the last prompt that we've got is fire, which is a bit annoying because fire is what this background actually is. So we need to find something with the word fire or fire on the cover or a fire in it, but I only have this one last prompt left to fill. To pick up Evermore, I need to read a mystery or thriller. So those are the shelves that I'm going to go and inspect. I found one and it's perfect. This is The Burning by Laura Bates and it's fire on the... No! It says the word book on the cover. That's one of the forbidden words. I can't have it. Okay, I'm very salty, but I have found one that fits all of the prompts and doesn't have any of the forbidden words. This is The Hunting Party by Lucy Foley. And the background on those words are flames from a fire. I have thoroughly inspected all of the freaking pages. All of this. And there are none of the forbidden words, so this is the one that we are choosing. This is about a group of friends who go to a Scottish lodge hidden away in the Highlands for Hogmanay. They're there for the New Year's festivities, but at midnight a fire rips through the lodge, and after it has finished burning itself out, they find a broken body in the wreckage. The problem is that the group are trapped there. They are snowed in, it's the Highlands, and it's New Year's. Nobody is coming for them. Trust me, we Scottish people take Hogmanay very seriously. And as they stand there, trapped with only each other, they realise that this body did not die from the fire, that it was already dead. And then there's the wonderful tagline from the back which says, "Not an accident, but a murder among friends." I'm very excited for this one. As you can see, I picked it up in hardcover when it came out and I have been sleeping on it ever since. I think this might be Lucy Foley's debut novel as well, and I feel like she may have another one out now. We shall do some research and who knows, we might find ourselves a new favourite author. But not only does this have fire on it, it also counts for a mystery or thriller. It is definitely a thriller. I can also tick off Evermore on my list. There are of course a few other books that I would love to get to this month. The wonderful Jean and I from Jean's Bookish Thoughts are starting a little project this year. We are calling it Shelf Slam 2021, in which we try to slam our way through our sci-fi and fantasy shelves. All of those books that have just been sitting there waiting for our attention. It's time that we got to them now. Our idea was to choose a book a month and then after 3 books we would do a live show. Unfortunately, I did not get to last month's pick, which was Chilling Effect by Valerie Vales. This is a space opera about a smuggler whose sister is kidnapped and who has a serious lot of problems, including psychic cats, an emperor who wants her for her body, and a nasty case of very sapphic feelings for her engineer. I'm very excited about this one, but last month I was in a total reading slump and I did not get to hardly any of the books that I wanted to get to. So this one goes back on the list. I also want to carry on with my reread of the Wayfarers series by Becky Chambers by going on to A Closed and Common Orbit. I am re-listening to these on audiobook, or rereading these on audiobook. I listened to this one on audiobook originally though. What does that mean? I'm experiencing these again on audiobook. This is going to be my audiobook for the next little while. Okay, leave me alone. And last month, when I was trying desperately to find something which would capture my insomniac brain in the middle middle of the night, I started on my Kindle Miracle Creek by Angie Kim. This is about an immigrant family who have come to the States and have set up a business there. They own a hyperbaric chamber, which is like a compressed oxygen chamber, which is used for a lot of different therapies. It's also used for divers to get used to being at such like low depths with such compressed oxygen, etc, etc. And at the beginning of this novel, the hyperbaric chamber explodes and it kills several people, and the result of this ends up in the courtroom drama that we then see unfold after. It's a very weird story. Like, I didn't know what it was about before I went into it, only that a lot of people that I really trust love it. But the writing is great. It's really gripping and really page-turning, and even though I'm like, over the premise, I still want to know what happens. So I'm going to try and finish that one. As always, if you guys have read anything on my TBR, please let me know. Let me know what you thought about it. Did you like it? Did you hate it? I like opinions, so let me know. And if you have anything that you would like to recommend based on my picks here, please also let me know that. Because eventually my book buying ban will be over. Although I think the book gods may have blessed me somewhat for my birthday. If you enjoyed this video, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing below for more of my face in your feed. Usually it's better lit than this. I don't know what to tell you. And I will speak to you guys soon. Bye! I am getting birthday brownies tonight and I'm not sharing them with you. All mine.